Hey everybody, Josh Sigurdson of World Alternative Media here, and, well, there's more stories that, they should annoy you, they should make you mad regarding the economy. I want to go to this first. It says, San Francisco developer bribes homeless to leave by showering them with cash. Now, that sounds a lot like helicopter Ben Bernanke. That sounds a lot like what the Federal Reserve does, but anyway, we're going to go into this article, and then we're going to go from there. Anyway, as it says, surrounded by half-inflated eagles wearing a Make Oakland Great Again hat and dressed as an elf to deliver Xmas in July, San Francisco real estate developer Gene Gorelick stood on a boom lift above a homeless encampment in Oakland on Friday and chanted into a bullhorn, "Free money, free money." The scene follows Gorelick's posting on Facebook that explained Home Depot Oakland could be forced to close with 300 jobs at stake because, as he notes, it's under attack by Libbyland, a reference to Oakland's uber-liberal mayor Libby Schaaf. And I quote, "I will rent a boom lift from Home Depot and make it rain. $300 in singles to show the citizens of Libbyland I'm serious. Then I'll offer $2,000 each to move to 11 4th Street by 8 p.m. However, if anyone is left in Libbyland at 8 p.m., no one gets any money. It's all or nothing." Remember, half the homeless came from outside Oakland. They have been lured in by Libby's promise of free housing. If you feel chafed, please come out for a day of good, clean, fun community service to save 300 Oakland jobs from Libbyland attack. As it continues, perhaps unsurprisingly, well, yeah, he was shouted down by community activists and encampment residents before he was able to turn on his leaf blower full of cash as they raged at the arrogance of his free money handout when what they appear to really want is free houses or more money than just $2,000. And I quote, "It's just a slap in the face for the residents," said Candace Elder, the chief executive of East Oakland Collective, a community organization that focuses on racial and economic equity. And I quote, "He's not doing anything constructive right now, but being disrespectful and classist." 38-year-old Kay Spikes, who has lived in a tiny house in the encampment for 5 years, exclaimed, "It really doesn't do anything." And I quote, $2,000 would get me maybe a motel for 2 weeks. Some food, she said. You can't even use that as a deposit. There's no place in Oakland that's $1,000. It doesn't solve the issue, and it sure doesn't even put a cushion under it. Carrying on, it says, so what do they want? Simple, as a sign of the new normal world of handouts and money for nothing times seems to confirm. And it says here, stop harassing homeless, give us housing. If only the rich would pay just a little fair share of their taxes, every homeless person in America can have a house and a pony, because after all, isn't owning a house a basic human right? Well, okay, that's a whole other topic completely. Rights are what you gain yourself, or what you actually are able to achieve yourself, because rights are, if they're taken away, they're no longer rights. You have to defend yourself. That's freedom, that's responsibility, that's what it comes down to. But obviously, one of the big issues at hand here is, it's a misunderstanding from both sides here. So, paying a little fair share, that's what's causing them to be able to pay employees less, and causing layoffs and causing all these problems. Some of them anyway. The Federal Reserve has a thing about printing vast amounts of currency and just papering over debt, papering over, manipulating, propping up, and it's ridiculous. If you go to San Francisco, I was just in San Francisco earlier this month, and the homelessness was terrible, and it smells like urine everywhere, and and Oakland as well. And, that doesn't come necessarily from people being, socialists on welfare and don't want to do anything with their lives. A lot of it has to do with, people not continuing. There's a lot to do with people not pushing themselves further, but a lot of it has to do with the government and the central banks and the banking system creating this huge problem where now people are working 2 jobs in San Francisco in a lot of cases and living out of their car. That's an issue of inflation. That's an issue of taxes. That's an issue of regulations and red tape that prop up big monopolies, kick out competition, stop fluctuation of innovation and productivity in the marketplace, stopping competition, all that kind of stuff. So that goes back to many different factors, not just one certain case. It's, a lot of these people are victims now. They need to solve that problem themselves. The government isn't going to save them from what the government created in the first place. But, I mean, shooting money at them, $2,000, what is that going to do? It seems like a waste of time. It seems disrespectful, and it keeps people arguing and debating each other and attacking each other rather than actually looking at the real enemies that put these people in this situation in the first place. Now, free money, free houses, that isn't going to help the problem. Where are you going to get it from? You're going to steal it from other people and then hand it over. Oh, well, they'll take it from the technology sector. Taxation is theft. I don't know. Did I stutter? You're going to take it from companies that then don't have that money to give to employees and hand down through the food chain, as they call it, to create a more productive environment that allows them to expand and bring in more employees and help more people. And obviously, it causes them to raise the prices, and then it all carries over to the marketplace where you end up paying a higher price of living. Right now, the price of living in the United States about 11.5% nationally, if you look at shadow stats by the 1980s Federal Reserve standards. So, what's the solution? Well, the solution is certainly not shooting money at people. It's not extorting people and then building houses. It's stop doing what is creating this problem in the first place. Stop printing money out of thin air and enforcing it via legal tender, usury, debt, servitude. Stop enforcing it through legal tender laws and stop doing fractional reserve lending, quantitative easing. Interest rates are going down soon and that'll go negative. That's going to cause more poverty, more destruction, more of a collision course that we're seeing much of the world on. It's the everything bubble after all. Debt, derivatives, all that kind of stuff. And you can look at Australia. They're lowering interest rates to about 1% now. Britain's looking at lowering interest rates. Italy's in a technical recession. Deutsche Bank is laying off employees, not giving severance pay. It's really bad. And the cash deposit ratio at the banks are, well, if you look at their balance sheet, they're insolvent. I mean, a lot of them only have like 1% or even less of deposits covered in cash. So again, creating more of an issue out of this by just standing around an American flag and thinking, oh, I'm so funny, I'm gonna shoot money out of a thing because I'm so rich. Like, dude, look, if you want to give away money, go give away money and help people. I think people are very charitable in most places in the world, but you're only encouraging the wrong idea that capitalists are bad people. And obviously he's going to lose some demand for this. He might gain some somewhere else, but he's probably going to lose money overall for doing this stuff because it's ridiculous. And I understand he's trying to protect property value and make money off of that, and then that money goes to consumers, goes to companies and goes to the employees and all that, because it's all wealth is spread out if you're not holding on to it and sitting on the stack. So, I mean, you're just making it look bad, and you're encouraging people to ask for free stuff and encouraging people to look for the government for the solution because the capitalists are mean and bad when the government is creating the problem in the first place and pushing people against individualism, pushing people against self-responsibility and self-responsibility is incredibly important. It's a hallmark of freedom itself. So, look, I've been to these shantyvilles. LA is incredibly bad, like just tent city, horrible. Victoria, British Columbia is like that. The homeless population in Las Vegas is huge, but it's spread out a lot because it's a wider radius, I guess, just spread out everywhere. And, I mean, you go to New York, it's everywhere, and it's everywhere in the world. And it's all due to the same issues. It doesn't matter how centralized or uncentralized, though the more centralized it seems to be worse. More socialism, more government regulations, policies, taxes, etc. It always seems to be worse. Roads are worse and living conditions are worse. But you go to these places and it comes down to the same symptom. Central banking, printing money out of thin air and forcing that debt, and then people are paying so much of their taxes towards paying off the interest on the debt that they're extorted for in the first place. And then a bunch of money going to blowing up people and bureaucrats. It's sad, it's ridiculous. I think people are slowly moving away from it, but you have to be aware at this point when you are facing such a horrible quandary, when you're an individual trying to make your way in life, as peacefully and easily as possible, and every single thing stands in your way. You can blame two things. And I'm saying this, I'm trying to be nice. Blame yourself and blame government. The government is the number one problem, but allowing yourself to be a victim of government is the next problem. And that's what keeps you in that place. It's down to you as an individual to stand up and take hold of your life. And you say it's better or more easily said than done. And say that to countless people that were once homeless and are now rich. Say that to all the people out there that were drug addicts and now are sober. Say that to all the people that, I've seen women that had children, 6 children, and then managed between 2 jobs to build companies that made them 100 millionaire. I mean, there are solutions out there, but it comes down to you as an individual and not looking to anyone else to help you. And that perpetuation of asking for free housing and all that kind of stuff is only actually going to add to that problem. And that housing manipulation is what caused that bubble to get so big in the first place. So don't look there. Look inside. Look to yourself. You can do it. You are capable of doing it. And you need to break free from that system if you want to do it. So it comes down to you. And it's going to be hard, and it's going to take a long time. Most likely, it's going to take years, but it pays off. It pays off, and you will make it. But just don't look for handouts. You got to have more respect for yourself than that. It's only going to perpetuate the problem you're in and create the technical, political problem that has created the problem that you're in. So anyway, I appreciate everyone joining us today. Again, it's just self-responsibility, independence. That's the most important part. And obviously to those out there that have some extra money to give out, I mean, help some people out here and there. But people that are in those situations don't depend on that because that's not how you're going to get out of that situation. So anyway, appreciate everyone watching. And until next time, this is Josh Sigurdson signing out from World Alternative Media. Find the truth, be the change. Like what you see here at WHAM, don't forget to check the links below. GoFundMe, Patreon, we can't do it without you. Any donation is very much appreciated, especially as we're so heavily demonetized and censored and shadow banned. It's getting really bad, folks. If everyone just gave $1 single a month to, say, Patreon or our Subscribestar, where we do subscriber-only content, we could really get out of this rut that we are currently in as YouTube tries to stifle independent media and prop up the mainstream media. This is really important. This is one of the most important times in independent media history for us to say it's now or never. Let's keep moving forward and let's be that change that we wish to see in the world. Of course, there's also our Bitcoin address below as well as on the screen for you to scan if you please. And of course, we got events coming up. So make sure to check us out at anarchovegas.com. Anarchovegas.com. Use promo code WAM, that's WHAM, for a 10% discount on your tickets. It's on July 19th, 20th, and 21st in, of course, Las Vegas, Nevada. That's anarchovegas.com. Make sure to check us out there and find us on websites like BitTube and Minds, and just try to support independent media, if not myself, any of the other big independent medias out there, to help us continuously bring our message to you free of charge so that we can really change the guard as we move forward into a dramatically polarized, crazy future. Let's try to make it as sustainable as possible. It comes down to you guys. You are the change you wish to see. You guys will help us get through these tough times. So anyway, check out all those links. And until next time, this is Josh Sigurdson signing out from World Alternative Media. Find the truth, be the change.
I'm sure you have already changed people's minds in your young age because you're involved, and I like that.